On behalf of the Geneva Press Club, Club Suisse de la Presse, and the Freedom Cartoonists Foundation, first part, shorter, is with our laureates of the today's Kofi Annan for Courage cartooning award. And also with Patrick Chapat. As you know, Patrick Chapat, I don't present him to you. And in a few minutes, they will be joined, as you know, by Dmitry Mouratov and Maria Ressa.
We thought it would be a dream to bring in Geneva the Nobel Peace Laureates, who happen to be two journalists, incredibly courageous journalists fighting for truth in a time where the facts are under attack and where lies, propaganda, and war is on the march. And to have those heroes of journalism present the award, the Kofi Annan Courage and Cartooning Award, to my personal heroes who are here today, the laureates, the winners of the 2022 award. That is Gabor Papai of Hungary and Vladimir Kazanevsky of Ukraine.
Now, as you know, my country is in the war, and I understand exactly that cartooning without words, for example, is very, very important weapon in the information war. I understand that cartoon can help to open eyes of people all around the world to understand what has happened in reality, because reality is not like Putin said, like propaganda, Russian propaganda said. From the first day of the war, I understand that I have a real weapon in my hand, it's pencil in my mind, and I have to be in war by cartooning.
De azért én tudom, hogy mi az, ami veszélyt jelent a lapomra.
On ne lui dit jamais ce qu'il ne doit pas faire, mais il sait parfaitement ce qui peut faire du mal à son journal. Par conséquent, il doit faire attention.
News organizations, which were both creating journalism and distributing our journalism, splintered. And we kept the creation of the journalism. We're not content creators. We are journalists, right? And then the distribution was taken over. I think that was when social media scaled. The difference is, during our time, both distribution and creation, we had standards and ethics, we were accountable, we were legally liable. When tech took it, the distribution model of tech is to keep you scrolling. And from 2014 until today, they have A/B tested what keeps you scrolling. And what keeps you scrolling is anger, hate, triggers moral outrage that inevitably turns into mob rule.
Согласитесь, интервью журналистов с журналистами – это инцест.
When a group of journalists interviews another journalist, this is akin to incest.
Можно ли писать слово «война» или нельзя писать слово «война»?
Is it allowed or is it not allowed to write the word war?
Или надо сразу взять и закрыть газету, потому что это война, а ты должен писать специальный операцию?
And do we just shut down the newspaper because you cannot write the word war and it's just a special operation?
96% с лишним процентов читателей сказали, вы обязаны продолжать делать газету.
96% of our readers said, do not stop, you have to continue your work.
Мы предложили себе придерживаться одного принципа.
And so we decided that we are going to stick with one principle.
Мы доверяем только глазам своих корреспондентов.
We trust only what our correspondents see with their own eyes. And so what happened next was hundreds of people flocked to our building, to our office, and started buying the newspapers with their own money so that they could distribute them.
Это то, как Европа обращается с беженцами.
What I'm particularly proud of is to see how Europe treats the refugees.
3 миллиона 60 тысяч только в Польше.
3,060,000 refugees in Poland alone. I can't call for sanctions against my own country, and yet I cannot deny the right of your countries to impose those sanctions. Or the most recent example, they decided to sanction the Russian oligarchs, entrepreneurs, etc. Great.
Многие из них бенефициары режима.
Many of them benefit from the regime. Sanctions, I believe, should not be indiscriminate. It shouldn't be akin of multiple rocket launchers that cover a large territory.
За 3 минуты до отправления я был в купе, меня обрели краской с ацетоном.
I was sitting in my compartment 3 minutes before the train was to leave the station. Somebody poured paint all over me. The paint contained acetone. So I couldn't see anything. I lost my eyesight. And still, to this day, I have to close my eyes because it's hard for me when I have limelight.
Сожгли веки и сожгли конъюнктиву глаза.
They burnt the retina and they burnt my eyes, basically. Every single police camera caught his face. But it's going to be 1 month in 3 days. 1 month since it happened, and not a single case investigation. Not a single investigation started. Earlier, Maria and I spoke in a different room, and I told her that I do not rule out the possibility that nuclear weapons might be used. And for 2 weeks now, we've been hearing from our television screens that nuclear silos should be opened. Nobody can possibly stop this decision from being taken.
Парламент, Совет Безопасности, гражданское общество, Ленин. Никого нет.
Not the parliaments, not the civil society, not the public, not even Lenin, nobody.
Никаких ограничений. Абсолютная власть.
Unrestricted, absolute power. There are people who fought for peace. There are people who fought for democracy in Russia. Well, we have to give these people visas. Hundreds of people who left the country, I'm referring to journalists, are now trying to relaunch their own media products.
RT and Sputnik both offered to help the state agency in the Philippines and gave them, in quotes, training. So you have to look at track record. Countries have taken action. This is one of those instances where you don't act. You know, when you can't be neutral, you have to look at the data. You have to look at the evidence and make a choice.